You talking
Cause
about?
like if you encounter people,
Oh,
yeah, then you like want to say you're friendly, or else they'll just fire on you, bro. Oh, they might fire on you still, but at least you might get a chance to live if you stay friendly.
okay. So I'm gonna start like I guess with like the. I mean, I'm already recording, but like for the content, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, nobody's watching, but tell the people your name. You know what I'm saying?
So my name is JDotGreeen. I don't know if you went in the government, but yeah, my name is JJ.
JDotGreeen?
Yeah, last name Green.
Where you from?
I'm from. I spent most of my childhood in a small town near the border of Mexico called Del Rio.
Oh, I know some folks. One of my coworkers when I had my day job, he was from Del Rio.
Yeah. That's where I spent the majority of my childhood, and then moved to San Antonio. Hold on, quick. I'm bleeding out. Moved to San Antonio in my senior year of high school, cause Del Rio was just getting a little too old. We needed a senior change, so yeah, we moved to San Antonio and
You said for
been
your
here
senior
since.
year?
Yeah, my senior year is when we left.
So you did your
Um,
last year in San Antonio.
yeah,
Dang,
yeah,
right at the end.
yeah. But it was actually like it turned out to be a good year. My brother, one of my brothers, I was going to school with my two younger brothers. So yeah, my senior year turned out to be good because my brother Josh, he was on the varsity football team, and he was really good. So, like a lot of people, because okay, this is the other thing. My brothers and I and my father, we all have the same first name, Kalon. So that's why I go by JJ and not Kalon because all my brothers and my father share that name.
That's wild.
Um, yeah, bro. So when we got to school, like everyone knew us as the three brothers with the same name. So if you knew Josh, then you also knew the other two Kalons. Um, so yeah, my brother was getting pretty popular doing his thing on the football team, and so like that got me knowing people familiar with us, and yeah, it was a fun year. I wish we could have like moved sooner. But yeah, I mean it was a good time.
Senior year?
Yeah.
Man, mine was an adventure. I started senior year in alternative school.
Oh really?
Yeah, man, I was. I mean, I wasn't wild, but I was bad. Like I just did
Yeah,
dumb stuff. Just messing with girl.
yeah,
I mean, girls have been my downfall almost my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Girls get you
yeah.
in.
Where'd you go to school at?
In Mississippi, I did. I'm from San Antonio. I was born in San Antonio, but I lived a bunch of. We lived in Washington for a couple years, and we lived in Michigan for a couple years. We lived in Mississippi for 8 years, and then we were in Tennessee for about 6 months. But I graduated from high school in Mississippi, so I didn't really do too much growing up in San Antonio.
Yeah. And what had you moving like that?
Well, my mom's relationships, not
Oh,
like
okay,
that. And
okay.
that sound kind of funky, but it wasn't like that. You know, it wasn't like the movies. You know what I'm saying? Where it's a
Yeah,
different stepdad every week. No, it wasn't like that. But just over, 18 years,
yeah.
my mom was in some relationships, and so that had us moving.
Okay, yeah,
But it's nothing like Texas. I always miss Texas. I always miss San Antonio. We would visit a lot because my grandparents uh, have always lived here, so we come visit over the years, and I always missed it. And then so we came back. So I graduated in Mississippi, and then I did 2 years at Southern Miss, and then my younger brother graduated high school, and he got accepted to A&M, and so we all once he graduated, we all moved back over here. And so I started at UTSA. My junior year was my first year, and my brother went to A&M, and my sister graduated from Bernie High School a couple years ago.
Okay, yes. So when you went to UTSA, what was your go to study or what?
I was an accounting major. It started
Accounting
just
major? Okay.
yo, what's that? It was just music in the background. What's that about?
I'm not too sure.
It was like some uh, what's that Christmas song? Dun 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 dun. Dun. But it
Uh,
stopped.
yeah, but there's some stuff that happens like to the whole server, like those messages that pop up. But yeah, it could be someone in your like a real player in your area.
Oh, a play.
I
Oh,
don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm not too sure.
okay, bet. Okay, bet. What was it? What were we saying?
With
Yeah,
the
accounting.
lives.
Accounting was
Yeah.
my major, and I had
How'd you
a.
like that?
You say how did I like it?
Yeah.
I did like I always liked business. My dream, to be honest, when I was younger, I wanted to own. I mean, I still would want to own like an arcade go kart place. You know how like EOV and they be having them those type of places.
Yeah.
I always wanted to own one of them, and so that was like my original plan was to go. So I went for general business, and then I changed it to entrepreneurship, and then my sophomore year, my first accounting class, I a CPA came in, and he was like, if you're a CPA, you can do these things and those things, and I liked accounting so far, so I changed it to accounting, and I had a couple interns. Well, I had an internship at Schlitterbahn up here in New Braunfels, a summer internship, and then I got another one down in San Antonio, and that became a day job once I graduated. So I was an accountant for a little while.
Slitterbond gig.
Yeah, but it was but at the offices. I only went to the park once to pick up some uh like receipts and stuff, but it was
Uh-huh.
at the offices.
Okay. That's interesting, bro. I'm definitely I'm about to graduate next semester. I gotta be, or what's on my mind right now is like what my day job is gonna be. Cause
I
I
de-
really don't know, bro.
Man, I would say, my advice is just like
Yeah.
take whatever God gives you and just chill. You know what I'm saying? Stack the bread, live that boring life because, I didn't want that, right? So I was like chasing the dream. I was a DJ, and then
Yeah. Ambitious.
I don't know if I told you all that stuff, but yeah, I was a DJ and
No, no, you
in the
didn't.
nightlife promoter. You know what I'm saying? Club every night, drinking and all the stuff that comes with
Yeah.
it. I was trying to be P Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Not like in a funky way, but
Nah, yeah.
but like that. And I was managing artists and just like killing my credit. You know what I'm saying? Racking up debt because I'm like it
Yeah.
don't matter. I'm gonna be like Glorilla said. It don't matter. I'm gonna be rich tomorrow. So it just was like
Yeah.
none. No, I wasn't even focused on today. I was just chasing a dream, and
Yeah.
it all came crashing down, and I'm still
Mm-hmm.
getting. I'm still you know recovering from
Recovering.
that. I was
Yeah.
homeless for a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole sob story, right? But um, now, looking back, I'm like I should have just been that boring Christian life. You know what I'm saying? Got married out of high school type of thing. Cause you don't really care about none of that stuff, right? When you're young and silly, it's like what's like YOLO. Like I was living like that,
Yeah.
and so now I'm
Yeah.
like, kind of what I was running from. The boring is exactly what I should have been doing, and that's what I even because I work with younger folks like your age, like 20-year-olds, 22. I would tell them like, bro, just get married and start having kids and just chill, like, because all that stuff, that because a lot of like I said, a lot of them they be going out every night. Oh, dude, I'm hungover. This, it's all that. I'm like, bro, there ain't nothing at the end of that road.
Um, I like the sound of that, bro. Like, I would say there was a point in time where I want to say it was because I heard a J. Cole song. What's the J. Cole song? Forgetting it. I'm forgetting. The one that goes, I hold my head
Yeah.
high. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And then he says, I want my dreams to rescue me. And like it was one night. I think I was just really high, and I just like because I was high, I like was just analyzing the lyrics super hard. Then I was like, what does he mean by like he wants a dream to rescue him? And I don't think I was believing in God at this time yet. And so, thinking about that, I thought about like my dreams and my ambitions. People in life, they kind of like, you know, put their faith and everything into like the dreams they have, expecting it to like, in a way, save them from like life.
Yeah.
And I realized like, yeah, that's what I'm banking on too. Like I'm banking on this idea that I have of like what I want my future to be, and I'm hoping that like it all works out, because if it doesn't, I don't know what else is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so yeah, bro, like when I'm having conversations with my professors or my peers in college, and especially filmmaking, which is my major, like I mentioned to you. People are talking about going to LA, going to New York, financial stuff, because it's expensive to like be in the film industry, and I'm just like, bruh, like I don't know about all that, bro. I don't know where I fit in that equation.
Yeah.
And my faith, like, if I go here, then how do I know? How's it gonna affect my spiritual life? Stuff like that, questions I'll be having. So yeah, bro, like, to what you said, like, I definitely think there's a lot of value in playing it that way. And just like I'm about to be 24 this month, and like looking back on like conversations with my parents and people that were older than me and giving advice like you're giving me, like, yeah, in that moment I'm like, man, like I'm not gonna take it slow, like I'm young, this and that. But nah, bro, like time, everyone says time, like my second year, this age, and then you blink and now you're
Yeah. No, because I just turned 30, and it was like almost depressing, straight up. Like I was like, dang. Literally just yesterday, I was having my 22nd birthday, and I remember my 22nd birthday party. That thing was off the hook. You know what I'm saying? And like you just like I said, you just going crazy. YOLO, let's go. You know all that, and then boom, now I'm 30, and like I said, I'm in a kind of somewhat of a worse position. I mean, I'm in a better position because I got Christ, but maybe to the eye, I'm like in a worse position than I was at that time. But also, I mean, at the same time, like I said, I got a younger brother. He just had his baby yesterday, but he didn't do almost none. Maybe he had some drinks, maybe did some smoking, maybe he had some fun, but at the level that I did, not even close, not even like a fraction. You know what I'm saying? I think probably seeing me and the mistakes I made, he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So he, was in school. You know what I'm saying? He got like he got the suburban life going. You know what I'm saying? They got the RV. He got the ride a lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? Like he worked from home. Like he blessed. For sure. Like I don't mean to, I'm not jealous of my brother, but at the same time I see it. I'm like, that's what I should have did. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost inspiring. You know what I mean? For my younger brother to be in the position. But I mean, he's Catholic, so it's you know what I'm saying. It's still like so it's like
He's your full brother?
No, we have brothers. We got different dads.
Okay. What's your, before you go on, what's your ethnicity? Like, you're black and white?
Black and Hispanic. Hispanic my mom's side.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, my dad black. That's why I ain't never met him.
I'm the same. Mexico. My dad's black. He left at one point, or yeah, my mom actually left with us, but they remarried. But yeah, I mean, it's still kind of crazy.
I don't really trip too much about it. I remember when I was I had to send in the you send in the form for baptism, right? And so the lady from the office calls me and she was like, yeah, I see that you don't have your dad on here. I was like, oh yeah, I never met him. I don't never met him. You don't gotta worry about that. And she said, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Just my mom. So it's just
Okay, so dang, so you like never
my mom said we ran into him once at Walmart, but yeah, I never
that's crazy.
met. Although I did hear in the last couple of years that he may not know about me.
Oh
Which
really?
I mean, I don't really trip. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how Jesus said, "Call no man your father." You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's that one's easy for me because I never met him anyway, so I ain't looking for him.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and
My pops is he only met his dad maybe less than a handful of times. I don't know. It's just thankfully I'm like my dad's in my life, but man, bro, like it's just crazy to think like I don't know, just to not have like two parents. I mean, you could have both parents in your life, and they could be absolutely terrible, and it could be a terrible thing. So it's like I'm sure like you don't like you said trip about like only having your mom because I'm sure you and your mom have like a great relationship and for a minute my mom was kind of playing both roles as well, so I kind of understand uh, that. But yeah, bro, it's just a trip to like be someone's son and then become someone's father and like see. I'm not a father.
yeah,
let me throw that out. I'm not a father yet, but uh, to see the different dynamics throughout like people's life and I don't know, it's just real interesting.
yeah, I moved in, so I moved in with my wife, right, and her mom. They was living together, and I moved in up here in New Braunfels. But I watched them, and it's so funny to watch because they like. I mean, it's still mom and daughter, right? But they're like best friends right now because my wife's in her 20s, and so they talk different than 20 years ago when she was a baby, right? And so it's funny watching them, like, wow, what's that like? You know what I'm saying? Having a baby, and they're an infant, and you got to do this, and then they start school, and now fast forward 20 years, you're talking like your sisters, like your friends, right?
Yeah,
And so I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
what's that gonna be like in 20 years when my daughter, my children, they're like my friend. I mean, like I said, it's you still a parent, but it's like they my friends now.
yeah, yeah. No. Yeah,
That's a
exactly,
trip.
bro. Like I'll be looking at. I'm a short dude, but my siblings like they are 6 feet plus, all of them. I don't really know what happened. But yeah, also like to what you just said, like to see my dad who's 5'10", and then to see his like sons grow up and like you know, children come from you, but then they grow up and they're like bigger, stronger.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like you said, like they get to a point where they're mature enough and hopefully like doing better than you in life. It's just yeah, all of that's crazy, bro. Like it's
And I realize now, it's because we all got like similar stories, right? Broken homes and
yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so you realize how important it is to have God, have Christ, generationally, and that when the Bible talks about teach your kids about me, teach your kids about God,
yeah, bro.
etc. That we supposed to be like generation after generation, and and then the whole family is supposed to really like grow together, and like that kind of like that generational wealth thing. Even though it's not about material things, but if our grandparents had maybe had God and taught our parents the right way, they'd all still be together, and then we would have come up, what I'm saying, having God and be taught a certain way, and we could have this like kind of generational thing, generational wealth, what I'm saying, some land, some property,
I
Good.
think it would benefit positive. It would have positively benefit. Yeah, because I mean, coming to know God, I mean, the thought I always have is like, bro, I wish everyone could walk this walk that I'm walking,
Yeah.
and to some degree, like we all are, but you know, it just knowing Christ helps and helps in every aspect of your life, no matter what you're going through, bro. I'm always like, man, I'm so glad I started to believe, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't. I'd
Yeah.
be relying on my dreams and stuff and that would, I don't think that would work out as well, man.
Yeah. It becomes like, even like I said, interacting with folks. Um. Uh. Like at work, like I said, young folks, and the things they talk about. I'm like, well, for one, like I used to be like that, right? So I can't really judge too much. But
I have,
at the same time, I'm like, bro, like, what are y'all doing? What is going on? Like, y'all know about
yeah,
Jesus? Y'all need to get to church. Like, stop wasting time. Like, it's funny. Um, but you start to not really understand not having God in your life. It's like, what else, like you said, what would I do? What else would I do if I wasn't with Jesus, if I wasn't going to church? Because what else is there to do? What else is there? Nothing else really
yeah,
makes sense.
it doesn't, bro. That's, yeah, that's definitely the trajectory that I felt my whole ship going. And I was at the height of like, I'd say it was my sophomore year of college, and I was like out the crib. I was like, I'm finally got the freedom to, drink and smoke and go out and get with girls and bring them to the crib and
Yeah.
all types of stuff. Like, I don't gotta report back to my mom or my dad. I don't got this or that. And it was like a heavy sense of confusion, uh, hopelessness, and frustration. Confusion in a sense like I didn't know necessarily what I was supposed to be doing. I just knew that it was more to this life than like going to class, going to work, getting a job, uh, stuff like that. And then at the end of it, just knowing that like, one day I'm gonna die and I don't know when that day is, and I don't know what's gonna happen when that day comes, what happens after I die, but I know it's coming. And so, in the back of my mind, while I'm trying to, I don't even know what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to feel something,
Yeah.
I guess. Knowing that in the back of my mind, like, yeah, it didn't allow me to enjoy things or really be like, if I'm at a kickback or I'm at a party, like I couldn't really 100% be there in that moment with the people I was with because the stuff that I was thinking about. I think there's a verse in the Bible that says something about a smart man or a wise man thinks about his death often or something like that.
Yeah. Like, and it was like, teach me the number of my days, type of thing.
Hmm.
I mean, that's how I feel
Yeah.
now. To now, it's like, at first, I mean, the old life, it was like, I'm trying to make it. I gotta make it. I gotta make it. I gotta make it. Right. Now it's different. It's like there's so much to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build for my kids, trying to make it to trying to make it to the services. Trying to read all about the church and learn. It's like I'm not doing enough for God, and I'm not doing enough for my family, which is like different than it was before. Like a more positive restlessness, if that makes sense.
I imagine, bro. Like, um, yeah, I mean, cause aside from like beginning to understand or learn about who God is, I mean, nothing in life has, in our lives has changed, but I think just knowing like who's in control and what God has prepared for us, um, and just knowing that like when it comes to family, like I find a lot of peace in the fact that like uh, I guess family, for example, I could discuss. Like, I don't know about family myself. I could maybe ask my father and mother about, like, their experiences having a family and what they've learned and stuff, but nobody's perfect, so you're kind of like, uh, throwing the dice in terms of what you're going to get, like, what type of advice you're going to get, and if it's applicable, uh, or beneficial to apply it. But knowing that, like, God has given us guidance on family, on addiction, on, just all different types of stuff like that, for me, gives me peace, even though I know, like, maybe in the moment, I don't know how to approach a certain struggle I have or approach a certain obstacle in my way, but just knowing that, like, God is with me.
Yeah.
And that he knows how to help me through it. Like, that gives me a lot of peace.
There's a blessing in that. Or I mean, it's a whole different mindset than, you know, the old ways.
Yeah, it's like perspective. Shift. Like I said, we're still like living the same life, encountering the same issues, but just that perspective towards God instead of having it centered on ourselves and thinking that we got the control in our hands.
Yeah.
Well, the main control. I mean, we got control. My dad thinks we have no free will. But
I'm throwing up.
yeah, like well, we could get into that more. But yeah, knowing that God is ultimately writing the story is comforting. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No, I was just saying I ate some beans and then took off running and threw up.
Speaking of that, are you still heading to?
I'm at the airstrip. It looks like.
Are you? Okay. I'm almost there, bro.
Okay, so what do we do once you get here?
When we get there, I guess we could like find something that sticks out, and then we both head towards it. You know what I mean? Like, find something that, like a marker that we could identify, and try to what do you call it? Run to that. But I'm not quite there yet.
So what's your Orthodox story or journey into Orthodoxy?
My journey. So yeah, I grew up in a Christian household, like I said, Protestant background. As I mentioned, my dad and mom kind of had like different stances on certain stuff, but mainly it was just like, Bible. You should go to church. And yeah, read your Bible. You should go to church, but it's not like a big deal necessarily if you don't, but you should. And pray, and that was pretty much like it. But I think feels like I think it's just my personality and like the I guess avenue I ventured down being like the artistic avenue. Like there's a whole lot of crap out in the creative world. And when I say crap, I mean just like it's all type of stuff you could get lost in. There's stuff that dabbles with the occult in the art world. You could get into that stuff through art. You get into different types of music through art. Like you could get into like psychedelics through art. You can like there's a whole bunch of stuff. You get into spiritual stuff. There's obviously religious art. So I think being exposed to like all different types of art kind of put me in this mindset where I was like, man, I'm gonna find the truth for myself, and just because my parents are Christians, I'm not gonna call myself a Christian. I'm not gonna believe in Jesus just because they did. I'm going to find out the truth, whatever it was. I didn't know what the truth was. I was just like, I'm gonna find that out on my own. So I started exploring these different religions, Buddhism, Islam,
Dang.
spiritual stuff, like meditating, the chakra stuff. Never did crystals. Never went that deep.
I think
Meditation.
the other stuff might be deeper than crystals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bro, yeah. I was doing psychedelic. I was smoking weed. When I say psychedelics, I was only doing mushrooms, but that's still.
I done did shrooms. I'm not gonna lie. I like shrooms. Now,
Yeah,
what's tough for me is not to shut your story down, but I liked that stuff and still I struggle with smoking weed as a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Reading the Bible high,
yeah,
like not wanting to give it up. Type of like even while we
yeah.
was going to earlier on going to Saint Sophia, you know what I'm saying? I was smoking. Like I remember one time I left and driving back up here and I was smoking on the way home. It was hard for me to give up weed, and part of it was really a money thing. It wasn't even like I'm a Christian, I shouldn't be smoking. It was just like I really can't afford this, and it's silly for me to be spending money on it. But it's still hard. But I like even drink. I work at Chili's, and you know it's alcohol all over the place. And I've been looking at the margaritas and stuff, but like, dang, that looks good. It's hard to, at least for me, to kind of X all that out. At least in my mind or in my heart.
I say, don't hesitate to chip in, cause like when you ask, what's your orthodox story, is for like a 30-second response, bro. Like I'm gonna try to give you what I think is important to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a struggle for me. I still struggle with like weed. I was never really like super big on drinking, but in trying to give up weed, like I started drinking to like substitute it. Even though that's not very, it's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, and I've had conversation with friends who like trying to know God, but also smoke. For me, like I just knew for me that smoking, to me, it was like an escape. That's what it was for me, like an escape. And I would do it to escape from what was going on mentally, emotionally, and like dealing with a lot of that stuff and dealing with like my life. And at first it definitely started as something, like I remember the first time I smoked, it was my sophomore year of high school, and literally there was no smoking that day besides like I didn't like drinking there was nothing at all to do in my small town, Del Rio, and my friends were just like, do I want to try it? And then we said yeah. And that night, bro, I could not, like, my stomach was sore from how much I was laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, so that was like a pretty fun night, so I just kind of, kept with it. Started like, I only do it on the weekends, started doing it more, and then, I was doing it every day, and then, the more you do it, the more likely someone is going to realize, like, I mean, I already said I'm not high all the time, and people would ask me, like, especially if they were first meeting me, like, are you high or do you smoke? And so, when I started getting high every day, like, my family started to notice, and they weren't, like, tripping super hard because my two older siblings, were into that as well, but they weren't, like, for it, definitely. And so, let's see, and so, yeah, I was doing it every day, and, like, when I saw it was on, like, my productivity at work, or, just brain fog, or not, socially, like, making me anxious, like, giving me social anxiety or whatever, I try to tone it down a bit, like, maybe not smoke every single day, but I realized, like, that was a pretty tough struggle to do that, and that's when I was like, I might be in a little in at the knees right here with this
Yeah.
stuff, and now I'm trying to pull myself out of it, and I don't really know how to. And then when I'd be, trying to lean off of it, or, then I have these thoughts like, well, why should I? At least I'm not doing coke, or at least I'm not, whatever. But yeah, for me, it's just I try not to do it every day, because when I get in that routine, I'm not as productive as I could be. My mind isn't sharp, and I'm like chasing a high. And when you're chasing a high, for me at least, it just eventually, like, I just be wanting to get more high.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you can't. There's no ceiling when it comes to how high you can get.
For real.
But yeah, do I still smoke here and there? Do I still? Yeah, I mean, yeah, bro. Yeah. It's a never-ending. I'd say, like, I think I was talking to my brother about this once. Like, this is the Pandora box that I decided to open, and
Yeah.
now I gotta, like, wrestle with it for my life, for my entire life. And at first, like, it had its grips on me, but I feel like now, like, I'm definitely in a better place when it comes to trying to build on that, what do you call it? Self-control.
Yeah.
And I will say, like you mentioned, reading the Bible high, times when I felt the most drawn to God, or just, like, the most reflectful, is, like, when I do get high, or when I mean, I don't know if that sounds crazy, but, like,
No, I understand.
yeah, bro, like, it was one night where I mean, cause for me, like I said, getting high started out as, like, a thing I would do for fun, but then it became, like, a way of, like, coping with life, and it was the only thing that I felt like, kind of worked, it didn't really work 100% because I needed more. I always needed more, and it was kind of draining other aspects of my life. But when I felt it, I could feel it. Like when I got high, I could feel more relaxed, more at peace with stuff, and it made stuff that was like boring kind of more entertaining. And so it was like my crutch, in a sense that like without it, I didn't really know what to do. And so whenever I would smoke in those dark times, um, I would see on one hand, like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this as much. But I also, when you're high, you're able to like look at things with a wider perspective. I don't know how that works. It's just like your mind kind of expands. I don't know. But yeah, like on one hand, I saw that I needed help, but at the other hand, I was like, man, I'm desperate. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know how to help myself. And it was like with that struggle, that's kind of what led me to cry out to God. Like all those times that I was getting high, I was like waking up like, what am I doing? That is what kind of humbled me enough to be like, cry out to God and be like, help me. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's tough. I had stopped smoking at one point because I felt like because you get basically you get tired, right? And so I would smoke, and then I go to the house, and either I'd be playing the game or I'd be trying to watch TV, but I'd be falling asleep, and I'd be like, dang, like I really can't even enjoy the movie or the game because I'm falling asleep, right? And I would
That's
rather.
real.
And I was playing a lot of GTA online for a bit, like a lot.
Uh-huh.
But so I'd be super excited. I'm on the way home to play some GTA. But like I said, I'd be like, damn, I'm really not even all the way locked in because I'm high and I'm falling asleep. So I took a break, or I stopped essentially, and then I got back into it some months ago, and then I saw, I started going to the gas station up the street just about every day getting the THCA, right? But now I wasn't making much because I had just transferred over here. Sometimes it takes a second to get the hours and all that. So I wasn't making much, and
Yeah.
then my wife was pregnant. I was like, bro, I can't be wasting this $10
Yeah.
every day when I'm not making a lot, and I got a baby on the way. That's just selfish, right? And
Yeah.
then also kind of similar thing, I'd be in bed with my wife and I'm falling asleep. I'm like, yo, I'm like not even really fully engaged,
Yeah.
and then I would
Yeah.
pass out, and I wake up with bad breath because I hadn't brushed my teeth. Well,
Oh,
even if I,
same,
yeah,
man. They
e-
don't talk about that.
yeah,
They don't talk about that, bro.
even
That's
if even if I brush my teeth, I still wake up with that breath, right? I ain't like
oh,
that, what I'm saying? I'm in my wife's face, what I'm saying, with weed breath, like that ain't cool, what I'm saying? And so
oh, nah.
that was a big those things were like big things that really helped me get off it. And then eventually I stopped, and I still, and
Bro.
I could, what I'm saying, it's one thing, like I could because it's right up the street, I would cowork, I could get it every day, but I was able to kick it. I'm thankful to God. And then but what a big thing for me, because I struggle with other things too, of course, the internet stuff,
Yeah.
but what got me honestly was communion. And that's one reason why I wanted to get baptized and such so quickly, because
Yeah.
I need that communion. I need that accountability and that fear of God. And not to say uh, I take it more serious than everybody else and such. But I was like, I know, where the Bible talks about how serious communion is, you get sick and die, like all that stuff, right? I was like, that's really the only thing that's gonna hold me accountable is I'm gonna be afraid to die taking communion. You know what I'm saying? If I'm smoking, if I'm drinking, if I'm doing this, and that's kind. I mean, it's only been a week and a few days, but I mean, it's been a big change uh, since becoming Orthodox fully. To be like, I gotta take. I even told my wife months ago. I was like, once we become full Orthodox, things gonna have to change. You know, for both of or me too, not just her, but like we
Yeah,
can't be fighting and then going to take
as a
communion.
team, yeah.
We can't be treating our kids bad and then going to take communion like it's no big deal. Like we're gonna have to really focus.
Yeah,
And so I try to keep that focus. Like I said, it's only been a week, but I try to keep that focus of I need to stay some type of behaved in order to take my communion in purity. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible
yeah,
says to examine yourself. And I asked Father Thomas. I was like, I want to do confession every week. He was like, nah, that would be too much. He was like, once a month or so. I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, I was cool with doing confession every week
yeah,
just to make just like I said, I ain't trying to drop dead taking communion.
yeah. Yeah, that's actually interesting you brought a confession because I wanted to ask about that. I wanted to ask Jerry about that actually. Um, but my sponsor, but yeah, communion. I'll definitely say like in church before I started going to Orthodox church. I didn't really see communion as anything except like this symbol of like remembering Jesus. But I mean, in the sense of just like do this, kind of like it says in remembrance. But I didn't really see a whole lot of like I guess value or importance put on it because in Protestant churches like it's not really like there's no emphasis. I mean, in some maybe, but for the most part, it's not really a big emphasis placed on uh, communion, and so I wasn't really like thinking much about it. But then when I went to the Orthodox church, um, and I heard like if you're not a member of the church, you can't take it. You get the blessed bread instead. And yeah, it made me. I think it made me. Not I think, but like it definitely made me like wanna, you know, it piqued my interest. Like man, I wanna, cause I was looking at the Orthodox Church, like this is a true church. Um, I would like to take communion from the true church. Like I would like to experience that. Especially like learning about what communion means to the church and the way that the Orthodox perspective on communion, the value it has, and all that stuff. Like you should want to take communion. Learning about that, I was like, yeah, I do want to do that. And if hearing like what you mentioned, um, 1 second, this I'm in a watchtower. I'm in a watchtower, and there is a stupid amount of guns in here. I feel like we should meet up at that. One way to meet up with your boys in this game is I'm gonna shoot around, all right? And you kind of gotta follow where you hear the round coming from.
Okay, well, shit. Let me open the map again. Okay, so I'm to the right of the airstrip. Don't shoot nothing. Don't shoot nothing. Don't waste the bullet.
I'm like dead in the middle, dead in the center of the airstrip, almost.
What
I'm gonna.
number? Or with
What
the
number?
box?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Four and
yeah. Okay.
four or 4 and 5?
4 and 4, right at the bottom of 4 and 4.
4 and 4. Okay, and I'm 5 and 5, almost in the middle of 5 and 5, so I'm not too far.
Okay. And I'm in the tallest watchtower. It's the tallest thing. But yeah. I was definitely like intrigued with communion and taking the steps to like become a member of the church. And yeah, and learning about all that. There is like I guess a shift that you got to commit to, because I mean to me, I was like, man, I could continue like living the type of lifestyle I'm living, and you know, just go on doing that. But like I said, whenever I would be smoking, whenever I would be fornicating, whenever I would be doing whatever stuff I know I shouldn't be doing, I'd always feel this conviction afterwards, and I'd want to not. I'd want to make changes in the positive direction, because when you recognize yourself and your behavior, you know, not not when you recognize that the trajectory of your behavior or who you're becoming as a person isn't going in the route that you want it to be, like naturally, I think most people want to fix that. And so when I would, see that in myself, I would want to fix it. But yeah, there come points in times where I'm like, do I really want to fix? I really want to fix this, or do I want to say that I want to fix it and keep doing it?
Yeah.
And I'd ask myself that question a lot. And so when I came to the church, and I felt like, I believe that the Orthodox Church is the true church. And when I found out, like, you can't just, like most churches, you can't just, like, ask, hey, can I become a member? And they're just like, sure, sign up here. Or, just like, welcome, now you're a member. You actually have to, like, I'm not going to say earn your way to becoming a member, but it's a process for sure. And so, yeah, I was like, I could act like I'm, doing what is expected, and just keep living the way I'm living. But, goes back to the question, like, well, do I really want God to, like, change me and change my heart, or do I just like the sound of, do I like how that sounds?
Right. No, it was the same. I mean, for me with all the stuff, the smoking, all that stuff, it was like you just said. I was like, do I really want? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because this smoke was kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? And doing this and that is. And I did have to get to a point where I didn't want to do those things anymore, not just because I'm supposed to. Like, all right, like that's enough of this thing, whatever it is. And I think that's a step people don't. Not everybody actually gets to. I think some people Orthodox or not, they just be like, oh, I'm not supposed to do these things, or I don't do these things because I'm not supposed to do these things. But it's not like a genuine, like, there's nothing at the end of this road. Oh snap! I thought that was you. That's a zombie. Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's another one.
As long as there ain't a person that's gonna shoot you.
Oh.
I heard that. Shot?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I heard that. Mike's a little cush.
Is that you? No.
Nah, I'm in the top. You see someone?
I got these zombies after me. Oh snap.
I'm gonna go to you.
Okay. And so how did you discover Saint Sophia?
Specifically, Saint Sophia, I discovered through a coworker. Yeah, it was a coworker. Her name was Maya. And she asked me if I was a Christian, because I was wearing a big old cross necklace, and she thought I was Orthodox, but I was not Orthodox. I
Why did
just
she think you were
wanted.
Orthodox? Not that
I
that's a
don't know. I
bad thing,
think,
but
yeah, I think because of the cross neck. Not that it's like a trademark thing with Orthodox or something. But you know, most people just like rock a little cross gold chain.
yeah,
I wanted to be different. I admit. But yeah, she saw that. Um, or actually, I'm lying. It was my other coworker. His name was Mark. He thought I was Orthodox, but he was not Orthodox. She just asked about my faith because of the cross. And so, you know, I was like, yeah, I believe in God. We started talking, and then I was like, you know, are you a Christian? And then she was like, yeah, I'm Orthodox. And then I was like, what is that? And so she started telling me about it. And then she mentioned the church. And, you know, once she mentioned the church, I had that in the back of my mind. I was like, all right, so I just met an Orthodox Christian. I know some Catholics who say that they basically Christian, um, which I didn't believe at the time. I thought Christians and Catholics were like two different things. It could be argued. I don't really, you know.
yeah,
And then Protestant, which is the background I came from. So I'm meeting these different sects of Christians, or the different like variations of Christians. I like, let me kind of take a step back, because all the questions within Christianity I had was more so about like what denomination is the right one,
yeah,
because I was approaching it from a Protestant uh, perspective. But then, you know, being introduced to these other perspectives of Christianity, I was just like, okay, let me, instead of looking at, you know, individual denominations, let me look at these different kind of sects as a whole. And so that is what kind of got me into looking at the history of the church and of Christianity, its origins, and how it split into the three major branches, and what happened after that. And once I got an okay understanding of that, I felt comfortable enough to step into the church. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the order that it went in. Like, I had that conversation with a coworker, then I did a little research, and then I felt good enough to like step into the church. When I stepped into the church, I still was like, what the heck is all this?
yeah,
But because I did that like little research prior to doing that, I was like, you know what, man, even though I don't know what's going on right now, like, that is all right, because I don't know everything. I don't know everything, and just because, you know, it feels whatever type of way to me doesn't mean that's what it is. And I gotta give it a chance, because I know, like, this isn't just like, you know, John Smith made this claim and this is what we built our church on, and or so and so made this claim or did this or founded this or whatever. Like, this wasn't just built on a bunch of malarkey. You feel me? I knew it was grounded in something. So yeah, that kind of gave me the perseverance to just like stick it through and keep coming. And yeah, it's kind of how I like came to the church.
oh,
Pop a shot.
I'm
Alright.
trying to.
Let me see. You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know what direction it came from though.
Can you pop a shot?
No,
I'm
I
gonna
use
see
all
if
my
I
bullets.
could.
Where am I?
Oh, you need my bullets?
I had a handgun, but I guess I dropped it. I'm on the line of 04 and 04, really in that corner of 05 and 04.
05 and 04. 05, 05, 04. The top number being 05, right?
Um, yeah, top 05 on the corner with
And
04, but on the left.
with on the left, you're talking about where that little yellow curve line
Yeah, looks
is.
like the Y in Yellowstone.
Okay, okay. I think I checked out. You know, cause I thought San Antonio only had like Saint Sophia and maybe like a couple other Orthodox churches, but I found there's a handful, I think, or more. So I checked out. I want to say one or two other Orthodox churches, but yeah, I like Saint Sophia, and I only visited like uh, once. So checked out. I mean, it might be a stretch, but I visited them, and I like Saint Sophia. There was a moment, and I'm not even gonna say there was a moment. I still got questions, like you know, we're our church is Greek Orthodox, right?
Yeah.
But then other churches like they got the same, not the same, but like the ethnic attachment to the church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the Greek part. Yeah, I'm like, what's up with that? Like, what's the significance of that? Um, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know. That was just a question I had. I'm not like, am I am I with the right ethnic group or
Yeah.
like I'm not worried about that. Cause I know like the Orthodox churches, no matter what, for the most part, no matter what ethnic attachment there is, like they're all in agreement. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I try. Every once in a while when I tell someone about the Orthodox Church, I be trying not to mention that, like
Greek
the
aspect,
ethnic and the Oriental part. I'm like, that's too much.
yeah,
I'm like, let me just get you
yeah,
in first, and then we get there, because that's
yeah,
how it felt for me. I was like, what? I was
yeah.
like, what? The Oriental with the this and the Miaphysite and then there's the beef with the Russian. I was like, bro. I was like, I didn't. That's. I was like,
The Russian view, yeah, I heard about
I
that.
was like, I didn't even. I'm thinking all my questions was answered, and now it's more going on.
Yeah, yeah. What do you call it? Yeah, well, about a confession. Um, I wanted to ask about that, bro. Like, um, I've never done confession. Uh, in the Orthodox Church, Catholic Church, or Protestant. I've never done confession. And speaking of like my, what do you call it, catechumen, like setting that whole process up, like is confession required? I know it's probably encouraged, but um, can you kind of like give me like a little breakdown or nutshell?
Well,
What is
Father Thomas told
confession?
me he told me that I couldn't do confession until I was fully Orthodox. I was trying to do it.
Oh, really?
I want to say before we were catechumens. Um,
Oh, okay,
but
yeah.
he said we could. I was like, damn. I mean, I'm very pro confession. Even,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I won't say I took it crazy serious before Orthodoxy. But I once I learned about it, I was like, I'm down. I mean, I just believe in it. I think it's important. And, get some of that stuff off your chest and keep it real. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Not pretend that you're perfect. When behind, I mean, I've been even as a Christian before Orthodoxy, as a catechumen. I've done things that I should be doing,
Yeah.
and so
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm like, I should put it out there. Like I said, I should keep it real with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I may not.
Yeah.
tell the whole world, you know what I'm saying, this or that, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, keep it real before God, right? I do believe in
Yeah.
that. Even my like even like obviously I got Jesus tattooed on my face, right? But that don't I don't think that that makes me like super Christian. You know what I'm saying? Because I see
Yeah.
some people's maybe Christian walk that inspires me, right? So like I said, I think keeping it real is really important. And interacting with Christians, you know, Orthodox, non-Orthodox, etc., who don't keep it real, you like, all right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't be like you. I can't be like that. Because I lived in a couple Christian men's homes, like when I was during my homeless period and stuff. And a lot of the guys, you know, they fresh out of prison, they fresh off meth, you know what I'm saying? Fresh off the street. But they would come in because a lot of guys have been in and out of the homes for years. You know what I'm saying? All over Texas, they was at this home and they was at that home, and it was just a lot. They could never really seem to get it together, right? At least for good. But they would be super like Christian police, right? And that would get on my nerves. And so, like I said, I was like, I don't want to be like that. And then so coming around Orthodoxy time, I was like, I want to make sure I'm doing confession and keeping myself humble. And then so yeah, I couldn't do it until Orthodoxy, until being baptized. And so yeah, I went. This past Saturday was my first one, and it was cool. Like it felt good. Like it felt like, you know what I'm saying. Like I can take communion, like in truth, as opposed to maybe being prideful. Cause not and not to be, and this may not be my place to say, but I don't see a lot of folks from the parish doing confession. And you know, maybe like I said, it ain't really my business, but it's like that kind of bothers me. And so I want to at least set some kind of example, whether it's to my wife or whoever. I mean, not that anybody's watching me, but I just want to be. I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Like I said, that's interesting. I didn't know like you be a member of the church to do like to initiate like that process of doing confession. Cause I was under the impression like, you know, before I become a member I should as to like, but really don't know about the process. I know like I seen someone like I think it was their baptism where Father Thomas he did the prayers that kind of like does all the I guess same stuff, not the exact same stuff, but
The
you know
exorcism prayers.
simplifying. Yeah, and like kind of like what do you call it? Ridding you of your sins, cleansing you of your sins. Is that correct to say? Like, is that a part of the ceremony process of being baptized?
Yeah, I mean it's exorcism prayer, so it's meant to. I hear you shooting, but I don't know where you at. But I mean it's meant to. I mean just like what an exorcism is supposed to, you know, bring all that stuff out.
Confession. I think the. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, kind of, you know, walk after or walk with Christ. Like, I think naturally you would want to, like you said, kind of keep it real with God and confess your sins before Him. But I was going to a counseling session one time, kind of recent. Yeah, it was kind of recent. I don't do counseling no more. It was kind of just like a what do you call it? Relevant because of like it was relevant to go to counseling because something that happened uh, with one of the internships I did. So it was recommended to go to counseling. Um, but when I was at counseling, I was like, it kind of feels good to air, like, to just speak what's on my mind and how I feel, and like kind of come forward about, like, real thoughts and feelings that I'll be having that I share with people.
Yeah.
And then that's when I had that thought, I was like, I wonder if that's what confession feels like. Like, does it feel good to confess that stuff? And I don't know, are you like forgiven? You're forgiven of your sins by the end of the confession, right?
Well, after you do the prayer, I mean, the prayer is essentially supposed to, you know what I'm saying, resolve you of the sins.
To resolve is, yeah, okay, that's the word. Yeah, so that was on my mind. Like I said, Jerry or someone about confession, but now that I know you gotta be a member of the church to do it. Not that I don't have any more questions about it, but that kind of just like, it's just adding to like reasons why I should become a member of the church.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to do
I
that.
mean, I've had some discussions with um, Father Thomas, like one on ones. So I talked to him about we talked to him about stuff. You know, I struggle with this. I feel this and that. So he kind of he knew um, things about me beforehand. Um, so
Definitely can.
do you make content at all?
I do form content.
Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah, I said not like this type of video like format content where I'm just like talking. I do make like film type content, like writing stories and like casting actors and shooting stuff, but I don't make like more relaxed, chill stuff like this. But shoot, I'll be open to it. Honestly, my friend just started streaming. He actually plays a lot of DayZ.
Yeah.
And that dude got a raid. He got raided by other bro, and now he's like donations and stuff. I'm just
Well,
like,
you said he's asking for donations.
no. People started donating to him after the raid because they just started like subscribing, and they like his content. And he's just like, basically same thing you be doing. He just hops on a game and just like chats, kind of solo. Uh, So yeah, I mean, I used to do like exactly what you're doing when I was a teenager. That's when I asked you if you had like an Elgato capture card, cause that's like what I did before we were able to just like stream straight off the Xbox.
Yeah.
And I used to like edit the videos together, record my audio, and chop up the video and put it all together. But yeah, I don't really do that at the moment right now.
Oh, where do you so what's with your or how does your filming stuff work or?
Yeah, so usually, I'm taking like a film class that requires me to make a film, and based on what the teacher, my professor is like allowing me to like. Some professors will be like, make whatever you want. Other professors will be like, these are the parameters. Go crazy. So yeah, all the films that I've made so far have been like with context, but definitely, especially now that I'm about to graduate, like I'm hopefully continue making films, and those will be like personal, kind of like I'm making whatever I want to. I'm putting my own crew together. I'm funding it myself or getting funds from others. And whatever I shoot, I post on YouTube or there's a site called Venmo, which I haven't made an account, but I I definitely will start like transferring all my stuff over.
Venmo,
Uh,
like the money sending.
oh no, you're right. I did say Venmo.
Vimeo, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Vimeo, yeah. Yeah, I need to transfer all my stuff on there. But yeah, YouTube. I post my like stills of my films. Stills are just like, you know what stills are?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I post like stills to my films on my Instagram, which I'll send to you if you want. If you got Instagram, I don't know.
I do. Send me.
Um,
What's the ats like for the
oh,
people
okay,
at
okay.
home? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So on Instagram, I have two accounts. One account is my photography page. I'm gonna be at Humanic, which is HUMANIC, human, and then IC. Humanic underscore visuals.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, that's my photography page. My kind of personal work page with film. It's gonna be at J dot, and then green with three E's. JDotGreeen. And then my YouTube is simply JJ Green Productions at JJ Green Productions. Yes, sir.
Productions. You said you're waiting on the video. I mean the Vimeo, or
I just have not gotten around to transferring all my videos and stuff, all my content on there, but I will soon.
okay.
That's like YouTube for filmmakers, basically. Like everyone who makes films, just that's the place to like put your work. YouTube, I don't know why they choose that over YouTube, but yeah,
I've
I'm
heard
gonna
of
have to
I've
get
heard
with
of it.
that.
I've watched some stuff on Vimeo. I forget what. But, oh.
Yeah, I always looked at it like the bootleg YouTube. Yeah, but apparently it's got its traffic and whatnot.